right, we will go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the February 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board. First of all, if we can get a roll call.
Deere.
Here.
Dearbone.
Here.
Eggleton.
Here.
Holman.
Here.
LaPointe.
Here. Right now, we will move to our approval of the minutes for the November 23rd, 2021 meeting.
I move to accept as read.
Second.
Deere. Dearbone. Deere.
Yes.
Dearbone.
Yes.
Eggleton.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
LaPointe.
Swear in our officers. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. We will now move into our hearing agenda. First on the docket is case number 1, which is case number 2021-3446, citation 2021-10247.4, 1874 Walden Road, owner Yvette Castro and Connie Brown, respondent Yvette Castro, and this is Mo Hillard's case. Mo, microphone.
This case is the result of a citizen complaint. The inspection was conducted on 10/28 of 21. During the inspection, the following violations were noted: accumulation of construction, demolition, or landscape debris, a lot of pallets. The NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance reinspection date of 11/11/21. On 11/16, it was re-inspected, and I realized the pallets weren't just being piled up, they were being used as fencing material. The following violations were noted: an accumulation of construction, demolition, landscape debris, accessory structures, and dilapidated structures. So I sent a revised NOV to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with a compliance reinspection date of 11/26 of 21. On 11/29, a reinspection was conducted. The violations were not corrected. There was a man that I'd spoken to on previous cases. This is the 4th case since February of 2020 regarding pallets. I'd spoken to previous cases, and I stopped to talk to him about the violations. He said it was his property, and he would be talking to his lawyer. He just really wasn't going to bring it into compliance. He didn't feel we had the right to tell him what to do with it. He said he was building pallet furniture in order to have income during the pandemic. He was not willing to bring the property into compliance, so a citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. The reinspection date listed on the citation was December 7th of 2021. On 12/9 of 2021, a reinspection was conducted. The violations had not been corrected, and another citation was issued with a reinspection date of 12/17 of 2021. On 12/16, an appeal was issued. On 2/16, I spoke with the property owner, Yvette Castro, and she said it would be in compliance by Monday. But the current condition, the fencing is mostly down. Go to the current conditions. The fencing is down. There's still quite a few pallets in the backyard, some in the front yard. So they've done a lot of work to get towards compliance, but it has not yet achieved compliance.
Oh, did you say this was the 4th time that this property had been in
This was the fourth case since February of 2020.
Microphone towards you, a microphone up there towards you. Yeah, and I'll swear you in.
Okay,
To tell the truth, the whole truth.
I do.
State your name and then,
Yvette Castro.
okay, go ahead and give us your side.
I do own the property, but my brother resides in the property, so I'm not always there. I went out there last night after work, and he did have a like a little bobcat out there disposing of, like trying to get everything cleaned up. I asked him to get rid of the stuff, and he said he would get rid of it, but slowly, because he didn't know where to take it all. So he's been breaking it down and taking it and getting rid of it gradually, because there was a lot out there, and he has took the fence down, but there is some still on the property. I just needed more time to get rid of the pallets, just so that they're not dumped somewhere else in the city and someone else has got to pick them up, you know. But, I mean, he is trying to comply, and I'll make sure he complies with it. I was unaware how much was out there. I knew there was some. When he had lost his job, he was doing just doing whatever just to stay busy, you know, because I was paying his bills too. And then when I went out there, I realized how much was there, and I was like, now I'm getting citations. We got to fix this. And he's okay, I'll fix it. So it's an ongoing battle with me and him with keeping the property the way it should be. So he agreed with me yesterday he would get it cleaned up, because I told him he will pay every fine. I will not continue paying the fines. So.
So,
You have an estimate of how long it may take to get it in compliance?
It shouldn't take much longer. The thing is, with the rain, the way our yard is, it kind of goes down. So last night when he was out there, you can see like it's digging the mud. I mean, it's putting all kinds of mud holes in the yard. I mean, literally, he's getting stuck trying to get it picked up. But he has stacked some against the house, the back of the home, so they're more organized a little bit. And then he was putting them onto a truck last night to take them off, because he works for a local sign company here in Bowling Green too now. So he is gradually, whatever y'all think is the best time limit, but I do need at least another week or so to get in compliance so we can get rid of these pallets and get it back to code the way it should be. And she's correct. He has not complied with everything. He'll do a little bit and think that's within the compliance, and then he'll stop and it's not. And then she has to tell him again, and then I have to tell him again. So I'm in the process of maybe selling the property because I'm really tired of messing with it. So.
why was he using it as fencing?
Is what?
Why was he using the pallets as kind of a fencing?
I think he thought if it was put up and not laying in the yard, maybe, that they wouldn't say nothing, so he could keep them. So he was just trying to do something with them so they would be useful, I guess, until they told me he couldn't do that either, which I know you have to have a permit to do that too, but he didn't. So I have to kind of break things down to him a little bit, because he doesn't really, when y'all come out there, I'm never there. Of course, y'all have never met with me on the property. I'm always at work, but whenever y'all send me a letter, then I have to sit down and explain to him, this is not within the guidelines, this is not within the guidelines, you gotta fix this and fix this. So it's one of those things.
So you're the spokesperson?
Yeah, I've had that property since 2007, and he moved in there in 2010 after our mother passed. I let him have the property because her name's on there too. And so he's been there all these years. I've never had any issues until recently, and then this started happening, so. And I don't want to bother the neighbors either, so, you know.
Right, any other previous cases that there have been on that property has been, the yard might be a mess or something, but he's gotten it into compliance. But the pallet thing was just, I tried to explain to him that fences can't be made of pallets just stacked up like that, and it's against code.
It
so.
is. I told him that too.
This case has been open for 117 days, this particular case, so.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion to uphold the citation and fine in the amount of $504.28. I really hate to do that because we're so close to getting this thing going, but again, it's been, you know, do a little bit at a time here, a little bit at a time there. It's kind of
I knew I was gonna have to pay. The first citation that y'all had written, he brought it to me, and it was like 200 and something. And I said, well, you have 7 days, they're gonna double the citation. And I guess he done a little bit. Well, the citation doubled, and I said, now we're up to 700 and something. I said, so I'll try to appeal it and see if I can get time to get rid of this stuff, because it's accumulating pretty fast, the fees are. So,
Second.
Deere, Holman, Deere,
Yes.
Dearbone,
No.
Eggleton,
No.
Holman,
Yes.
Lapointe,
No.
I'd like to offer a substitute motion, and that is to postpone this until the December meeting, to give time to bring, what did I say? To postpone to the March meeting,
Okay, that's
sorry.
fine, that's fine.
To give time to bring it into full compliance.
okay.
Second.
okay. Eggleton, Lapointe, Deere, Dearbone,
Yes.
Eggleton,
Yes.
Holman, Lapointe. And that'll be March 22nd, just for everyone's reference.
You have till March, not December. so-
Yes.
Okay, I when she said
Yes.
December, I was like, okay. Okay, and what fees do I have at this time? None? Or do I need to go ahead and pay the first fee?
The first citation
Was
is-
200?
should be all that's due at this time.
Okay.
But you don't have to pay it right now if you want to make
Okay.
payments or.
Okay, I just don't want it to
however
keep
you'd like.
accumulating over time.
Right,
Okay,
right.
Okay, March
Yeah,
22nd.
you're good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, our next case is case number 2, case 2021-3573, citation 2021-10652.6, 1110 Old Barren River Road, owner Jesse Rodriguez and Annalie Rodriguez. Respondent, Jose Rodriguez, and our case is Officer Sonia Duderick.
The case was a result of officer-initiated proactive case on 11/8 of 2021. During this inspection, I observed the following violation. There were unlicensed and inoperable motor vehicles on site, accumulation of rubbish or garbage, accumulation of construction, demolition, or landscaping debris, and tires. On November, an NOV was sent to a PVA-listed owner with the compliance reinspection date as of 11/18/2021. On 11/18/2021, the property was reinspected and remained in violation. During that time, I left a door hanger to encourage voluntary compliance. The next day, I received a text from owner Anna. She requested more time to bring the property into compliance, and reinspection was moved to 11/29. On 11/29, when reinspected, it continued to remain in violation. I sent text to Anna, and she advised that they have cleaned up the porch, but have not moved all the vehicles. That inspection was failed, and reinspection was scheduled for 12/6 of 2021. On 12/6, it was reinspected again and remained in violation. Again, sent text to Anna, and she advised me that her family was out of town and they would be back that night. She also stated further that she would let them know to move all the vehicles off the property. During this conversation, I advised her that all the vehicles need to be in operable condition, with all tires air up, and the tires that are stored outside have to be stored inside, or moved or disposed of, all rubbish cleaned up. We scheduled the next reinspection on 12/17 of 2021. On 12/17, the reinspection again failed and remained in violation, and due to unforeseen circumstances and tornado damage to Bowling Green, the next reinspection was moved to January 12th. Again, during that time, on December 22nd, I received another text from Anna. She said that she spoke with her father-in-law, who lives at the property, and He told her that they have cleaned up a lot. He told her that he has nowhere to take the vehicles that are not operable and that he is paying someone to work on them before he can move them or sell them. Told her that the next reinspection was going to be sometimes around second or third week in January. On January 3rd, I also sent Anna a picture of a text definition from Chapter 27 about inoperable motor vehicles. Then on January 11th, I sent her a text, told her that if I did not see any progress on the property, we'll have to issue a citation. During that conversation, she stated it's too much to do in a short amount of time. We went into a process of being in compliance, and I told her that it'll have to be, after first citation, she will have 10 days for a reinspection before another citation would be issued if the property's not being brought in compliance. On January 12th, I texted Anna to let her know that I will be there on January 14th to reinspect it. On the 14th, the property was reinspected and it remained in violation. The citation was issued and mailed by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner with a reinspection date on 1/24. During that citation, the following violations were noted. There was major overhaul, junk, scrap metal, duty of maintenance of private property, glazing, and exterior walls. And if you look at the picture, and that's the backyard where a lot of vehicles, there's few vehicles that are overflowing in the neighbor's property as well. Majority or almost all the vehicles on the property are unlicensed or expired registration. There's vehicle parts engine that was laying next to the vehicle. There's a broken window, and this is the front porch. On January 18th, Anna texted me again asking if building a fence would make a property in compliance. Again, I told her that it will not make a property in compliance. They would have to get it in compliance before, regardless of having fence on the property or not. On January 25th, I re-inspected and the property remained in violation. That's when a second citation was issued with a re-inspection date of February 3rd. So if you look at the pictures, that's a second citation. That is the front porch. They have moved the bus to the front with a for sale sign. The bus out front does not have a registration on it. There's some construction material on the side of the house, and the backyard still has a lot of vehicles there. You can see that one, that vehicle right there does not have an engine. The silver SUV type vehicle, it has an engine laying next to it. A day after the second citation was issued, Jose Rodriguez called and stated that his father lived there and he was having issues with him hoarding and not wanting to dispose of anything. Later in the conversation, he stated that the vehicles are actually his and that he's been storing them there while he's working on them. He also stores stuff on the front porch until he finds a place to put them. He also stated he does not want to appeal a citation, that he will pay the first citation, but wanted to know if there was a way to drop the price on the second citation. I told him that the reinspection will be on February 4th, and I told him if they can get the windows replaced or fixed and the front porch cleaned up, along with removing the boxes of gutters and siding on the side of the house, I would extend the reinspection date. I also offered to meet him at the property at the time that works for him for reinspection. On January 28th, Jose Rodriguez called to see if I could meet with him to show him exactly what the issues are in order for him to get his property in compliance. We met at the property, and I could see that he's been working on it. He's had a few guys there at the property while I was there, moving vehicles and moving stuff around. I showed him exactly what needs to be corrected and told him again that as long as we had the window fixed, replaced, front yard and porch cleaned up, I would give them more time to get the backyard cleaned up. On February 7th, the property was re-inspected and it remained in violation. As you can see on the picture, the front porch was cleaned up. There's still some construction material, but he was using that. He was going to use that to fix the stuff on the house. The window, the siding, and the backyard remained in violation. The window was still broken, the siding was still missing, and the backyard with all the vehicles there still remained in violation, and vehicle parts. There's still vehicles overflowing onto neighbor's yard. On 12/17, respected, and it remained in violation. As you can see, the front porch has more stuff now than it did on the prior reinspection. Some of the vehicles were removed from the property. The window and the siding was fixed, along with most of the construction materials were moved. Go to the days. Yeah, that's 2017. See, on the 17th, you can see a lot of vehicle parts and vehicles not current on their registration. Today, the bus is still out front with no registration. There's a vehicle out front with a flat tire, no registration. The front porch has been cleaned up. There are still vehicle parts in the backyard. There's still, all the vehicles in the backyard are unregistered or tags have been expired. The backyard is supposed to have gravel, but as you can tell, the gravel is almost gone. It's mud all throughout the backyard. There's still tires in the back. I spoke with Jose today after my inspection, and I told him what all I observed and what all is in violation that still needs to be fixed. This case has been opened for 106 days. However, on this property in the last 5 years, there have been 15 cases for code violation. In the last 5 years, there have been 15 cases of code violation on the property.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Jose Rodriguez. Okay, so first off, I'd like to state that Anna is not, doesn't have any ownership on the property. It's me and my sister. I think there's a little miscommunication there, yeah. But I think I explained it one time, and I didn't explain it thoroughly. But so Anna and Sonia had been communicating while I was at work. So the first citation back in November, I was actually out of town working. I was in New Orleans. I do a lot of construction, more specifically roofing. Work had slowed down, so I had to look for work somewhere else. So we went to go work the whole Hurricane Ida storm. So we were in New Orleans. Obviously, me, my dad, my brother-in-law, the manpower we're not home, can't do much. And we couldn't really find anybody reliable and trustworthy to take care of our property and, well, whatever's left of it really, but, and store or do what we need to do with what we have. So there wasn't really any movement that we could have done. Now, with the second citation, we had just gotten back from the holidays, and we started making slow progress, more so a strategy plan. At the end of the day, like Sonia stated, a lot of this stuff is my dad's stuff, and he's very attached to a lot of his things. And I know you guys have dealt with a lot of hoarders, so yeah, he's gotten attached to a lot of these items, vehicles, old tools, old ladders that represent something in his life. So we've gotten a lot of it done. I'd like to say at this stage, I'd say 85% of it is completely done, completely moved or thrown away or something. We're still working on a lot of things. For example, the tires, I don't understand why he wants old tires, but it's something that we still have to work with. So my question is, how many citations were given on January 14, 2022? Okay. And then how many citations were given on the 24th of January, 2022? Yes. How many were given there? Because I didn't bring the paperwork with me, but on the first citation, I believe there was three charges. That was on the 14th. Now, it was the 24th when we had the reinspection, correct? So when the 24th came, as you can tell from the picture, one of the side pictures that was given, there was an old building right there with the cars pouring into my neighbor's property. That old building was demolished. We threw away all that stuff. Those cars right there, the black one, the gray one, the bus was moved over to the front. All that pile was completely moved out of the way. And the only reason why we basically started from the outskirts and go in. So we started from our neighbors. Some of my cars were pouring into my neighbor's yard. So I started moving majority of the cars out of his property and trying to accommodate, put the pieces together, in other words. So I demolished that because, so yeah, majority of all those vehicles are already gone too. And then we cleaned up the porch at that time as well, right after the second one, I believe. So my question was, I'm not arguing the $205 charge because I wasn't here. You know, I'm not even going to fight it. It's okay. I'll pay that. The $600 and something fine is where it caught me off guard because I thought I was making progress enough to say, you know, okay, let's keep the ball rolling. But instead of saying, hey, Jose, good job, keep it going, I get slapped with a $605 charge. That's what, you know, the reason why I'm here today. I'm not in any a moment saying like I'm stubborn or get out of my property, anything like that. I'm trying to do my best to comply with you guys. But it was just the $605 charge that caught me off guard, you know, because I've been doing a lot of work. Keep in mind, tornado hit, we're extremely busy. So I'm trying to juggle my business and then going back home and doing the best I can. So I understand that it stays in violation as long as not everything is completely in order. But still, I've made tremendous charges. Now, as far as the vehicles without registration, as Sonia stated, I want to fix them and then get rid of them. They're cars that me and my dad have purchased years ago that, you know, one of them, the engine blew out on it. That's why we wanted to replace the engine. And we have a little shop back there that we do our personal work. But again, we just get so tied up with work. The last thing we want to do is go back home and touch a car. So that's why majority of those cars aren't registered or have any license plates or anything like that. So I guess to that, the question is, what motion should I take to not I guess, have the issue, really. I don't have the time really to fix it. I can't really tell you exactly how long it's going to take for me to fix it. And then obviously the reason why they're there is because I don't have the time or money to send them off to a shop and get them worked on. So what could we do, basically?
So do you know of anybody that you trust to work, like who could come to your house and work on the vehicles, or are they in such repair that shape they need to be taken to a mechanic? They need to be taken there.
Majority of the vehicles that are beyond repair have been removed from the property. So we're talking about probably, switch a hood or a bumper or, something minimal to where I can possibly do it myself. I do have relatives that could do the job. It's just a matter of just getting them contracted more so.
That small of a fix, why don't you just get it licensed and up to code? Is that not an option?
It's more of an expense, because on one of them, I do owe probably 2 years taxes, and I want to be able to pay it off when I'm ready to drive it, if that makes any sense. I wouldn't want to pay it and then just how busy I am, I'm probably going to forget and then just leave it there sitting again. So I'd rather have it just operating and then ready for me to move it or sell it.
I see what you're saying, but you're going to end up incurring more fines from us, which will negate the ability, you're going to end up paying us before you get it done, and then you have to pay the taxes. To your point, it seems like it would make more sense to go ahead and get them licensed out, so that way you don't have to worry about it. Then when you're ready to get them fixed and you can drive them, you don't have to worry about us, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That stuff's already taken care of. It would seem like that would be
I guess to better answer the question is, I do plan on selling the car. So if I'm just going to make one transaction, I'd rather just make it to the new buyer, basically, instead of having to put it in my name and then having to put it in their name. So again, that's my mentality. I
To
just
sell the vehicle, won't he still have to pay the back taxes on that? Yeah, so that's still, that's not gonna fix your problem.
And you'll still have the fines from this incurring.
Are you doing anything to actively sell the bus other than just posting a sign on it?
we're working on posting it up online somewhere, just to expedite the process more so. The only intention is getting from the drivers on the road. So, yeah, there is a process to it. We're working on it to get it out of the property more so.
I've got a question for you. Mr. Rodriguez states 85% cleared up rate. Is that accurate in your view?
There is majority of cleanup. The vehicles with parts, missing parts, have been removed from the property. There's still quite a few vehicles on the property that are expired registration or unregistered. There's still some parts, vehicle parts on the property. There's tires. There is a yellow bus in the back that still has a flat tire. There's a vehicle in the front with a flat tire. So there's majority of it has been completed. He has been working the day that I met with him. He has been actively working on getting it in compliance.
This picture right here with the yellow vehicle, in front of it, it looks like there's an outbuilding
I think that's a storage building, yes.
on the same property.
The vehicle, when I went today, the vehicles that were overflowing onto neighbor's yard have been moved. They're not on neighbor's yard anymore.
How long have you owned this property, sir?
Been there since, I would probably say, I can't remember exactly, 2008, 2009, but it was transferred over to my name probably 2014, 15, yeah.
You live in the house?
Do not. My parents do,
Your parents do?
yes.
Well, to me, it's, the property has to be cleaned up. And it's a it's a continual fine. It's going to exponentially just keep increasing till it gets cleaned up. And I think our issue at this point is that, yes, there's some has been cleaned up, but we still have a lot that hasn't. And I don't understand why it hasn't been cleaned up. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at something, this picture here in front of the Toyota. What is that?
That is a burning, my dad made a burning, fire pit, yeah, I guess. So what you see inside are tree branches, and there's an old bicycle there. I guess he was just trying to pile up what was debris. And again, this was taken today? Yes. Okay, so this is, I guess, from yesterday, last night, when we were trying to clean up as much as we could before the actual date, so.
Are there houses on each side of you?
Yes, sir.
Have the neighbors ever mentioned it to you at all?
No, sir. So facing the house, the left side, he's actually a relative of ours. And then to the right side facing the house, they are renters. So, yeah, they actually have quite a bit of mess too, so.
Have we received any complaints? My struggle is when I see 103 days. It seems to me, just common sense, is there's a willingness issue. I mean, 103 days, that's just a long time.
Again, I wasn't here for those majority of those 103 days. Now, like Sonia stated, 15 cases over the course of 5 years. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it had 15 cases. But it's a working situation with my dad, trying to get majority of these stuffs out of there. Old tools, old air compressors that just don't work anymore, they have, or he has the mentality where he's gonna quote unquote fix it, but that day never comes. So that's what I'm working with. And again, 103 days, when it first started, when Sonia first gave us a citation, we weren't here. And if you guys need proof of that, I can give you all the proof you need. So that when we actually started in January, again, it was more of a strategy. We needed a plan to see what we were going to do with majority of the stuff. And again, I'm not arguing the $205 fine. That's okay. I'll pay that one. What I'm here for is the $605 fine, which I thought I was doing a great job cleaning up, doing as much as I could, and instead of getting a thumbs up and keep going, I get a slap in the face with $605 fine. That's where it caught me off guard, really.
My thoughts, the vehicles tend to be the biggest red flag for me, because even just in your explanation of it, you're waiting for something before you'll go into compliance. It should be compliance first, and then whatever modifications you need to make to the vehicles should come, to me, secondary. You mentioned you have cousins who you could probably contract to get them taken care of, that way you can get that done. To me, your priority should be compliance. I respect that you're trying to make a clean, easy sweep of taking the vehicles and selling them off. I get that, but it sounds like you're pricing that ahead of what's being asked of you and has been asked of you for months. And obviously, you were not here for all of that, but still, the priority should be compliance to what is being asked of you, and then taking care of personal affairs secondarily, in my opinion. So that's the part where I'm finding issue with.
Chairman Dearborn, if I may, a couple items that have come up during this discussion, not to sway your opinion, but just as a matter of public record to bring to your attention while we're all here for future compliance. The last time there was a building permit there was in 2012. And looking at some of these pictures, there's a whole lot of buildings that look like they've been kind of ramshackled together. So you need to make sure before you build anything or demolish anything, like you said, you demolish that shed, you have to get a permit before you can do any of that, because we have to have some sort of record that things are being built and demolished and what's going on different properties. It also factors into the PVA value of the home to show that you have all these garages. I mean, that looks like a, what is that, like a two-story garage or something in the back there? Or
It's one story, it just has a big.
like a loft or something?
Yeah.
I mean, that, you know, values, that puts more value on the property. So we need to know those things are happening. Additionally, with the burn barrel here, if you could pass along to your dad, the only thing that he's allowed to legally burn by state law is anything that grew out of the ground. So any of the branches, trees, bushes, he can burn all of that, but he can't be burning plywood, plastic, bicycles. That's not good. It's not good for him or the environment or anything else. So if you can just make sure those things are properly disposed of, and that you or he get permits for these things when buildings are coming and going. So just want to bring that to your attention for the future, okay?
Okay,
All right.
thank you. And again, with a lot of building materials, we work in construction, so sometimes we don't have shelters or warehouses where we can store a lot of these things. So the first thing is just put it in the front porch and we'll use it when we use it, kind of thing. Now, with the material that was there, I did tell Sonia we were going to replace the roof, and we did. So the roof's already been replaced. So that material is out of the way already. But sometimes you'll see a box or two there where we'll have to leave overnight or 2 days, and then we'll put it back in the truck when we need it. That way it doesn't get damaged. And majority of the aluminum that was sitting around, those have been just stored from previous jobs that we've had in the past, and we were gonna use them for another job, but that job never comes and it just stays there. It's good material, so it kind of almost hurts to get rid of it, but that's how it piles up.
Room in any of these garages or in the loft, or? They're all
So
full
the
up?
loft is actually just an open space. When
Is there any way
they,
to make it storage so that you could start storing construction material in there?
it'll be heavy, because majority of it is metal, you know, shingles and stuff like that, so.
Seems to me that there's a lot of work yet to be done to get this cleaned up. So therefore, I'm going to make a motion to
Second.
Dearbone, Eggleton,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
LaPointe, Dearbone, Deer,
yes.
Hopefully, we can get this into compliance so that way you don't end up getting more citations. So that's, again, that is the key. It's about compliance and taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of now, first. You got a lot done, but there's more to get done. So once you're in compliance, then you don't have to worry about us anymore. You can take care of everything else, so.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now moving to old business, case number 3, case number 2020-5323, citation 2021-98-9896, 1305 Lee Drive South, owner Sergio Castillo, officer James Hetty.
Good evening, Board. This case was presented back in November 2021, and the Board made a motion to table it for 60 days. And back in January 19th, I went by and re-inspected the property, and I still saw a wrecked vehicle in the backyard. However, due to circumstances, the January meeting wasn't met, and was rescheduled for this meeting, February 22nd. But I'm pleased to report that I had a re-inspection on the 14th of February, went out, and it appears the wrecked vehicle and the other parts and different things are vacated the property there in that backyard, and the property's back in compliance. So staff requests motion 2, hopefully, with this property, but it looks tremendously a lot different from what it started. Yeah. Any questions? I think Mr. Sergio Castillo's here.
Have anything, do you want to say anything, Mr. Castillo? I'll swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Primeramente, muchas gracias y espero no darles más molestias a ninguno de ustedes.
First of all, thank you very much, and I hope not to have to bother you again.
Well, thank you for doing what was asked of you and for taking care of this. It looks great, and we appreciate you. It's been a process working through it with you, but we appreciate that you got into compliance. So, with that, I'd like to make a motion. Does anybody else have? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to uphold the citation, but to dismiss the fine in the amount of $900.
Dearbone, LaPointe, Deere,
Yes.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Eggleton,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
LaPointe.
And thank you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
What we want.
Thank you.
Thank you later. All right. Seeing as how we have no new business, do we have any comments or announcements? All right. I will take a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Deere, Eggleton, Deere,
Yes.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Eggleton,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
LaPointe.
You did real good, Ben. I'm glad you did